They said he wouldn't make it. They said he couldn't do it. They said the odds were against him. They said, what makes you different? Why will your deal work when the other ones didn't? I want you to give it up for our very own Rudy, our Chief Visionary Officer, co-founder of WorldVentures, the vision and the reason that we're here, Mr. Wayne Nugent! Our Rudy! This is our Rudy!
All right. Woo, go Irish. They got her done, didn't they, brother? Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, when I was where you're at, I didn't have a sponsor. I didn't have an upline. I didn't have a mentor. That movie had to do it for me. You got to know, I want to tell you about some things that video doesn't show. And Rudy's got his book, and he can read more about his life. But you know, it started with faith. I know my story, and my story's so much like his story. I'm telling you, my story started with faith. I found it interesting that, y'all heard of John Wooden, the coach? He coached in South Bend before he was the most winningest basketball coach at UCLA. But as a coach, at the core of him was faith. And I don't think we talk enough about faith. We talk about what it took to get there, what I did to get there. But people all the time want to know, where do I go? Because as leaders, we're batteries, and people plug into us, and they're looking for us to charge them up. We inspire, and they become motivated. But I don't know, what do you call it? I don't call it motivation. I don't call it inspiration when I go to God. I call it faith. So this isn't about me trying to project my beliefs on you, but it's me trying to do my job and tell you what served me and offer it up that maybe it will serve you, in the hopes that we build a solid foundation that stands the test of time. Can we go to the next slide, please? How many of you have not seen the movie Rudy? Let's hear you. How many of you have? For those of you that have, what would you express to the people that haven't? And I don't got no Rudy stock. I make no money from it. But I will tell you that every time I go into a store and there's the Rudy DVDs, I buy all of them. And whenever I go into a bookstore and there's the book As a Man Thinketh, I buy all of them. What I want you to get from this one talk is to go do those two things. If I want to know who you are, I'll watch what you watch, read what you read, see who you hang out with. You want to know who I am? You watch what I watch. You read what I read. You come see who I hang out with. But when you leave here, what goes with you? I'm glad you're here. You should be here. You were born to be here. I'm going to say that one again. You got to stop and think about this a minute. You're here, right? Or do I need to hold up a sign that says you should be here? You're here. You were born to be here. I'm telling you, the least of ye shall be made the greatest. This guy's one example of it. I resonate with this character. I also resonate with Seabiscuit, but I wasn't going to put that outfit on. People would argue which end I need to be. So y'all, we're going to talk about Rudy today. But Rudy's all about it ain't the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And there's some of us that we kind of expect to succeed. When they hear about WorldVentures, when they join WorldVentures, we expect them to succeed. And I've used the analogy of our number one money earner, Troy Brown, that he was a doctor. And in our society, don't we put our doctors on a pedestal? We respect them. They got all the credibility in the world. He had that coming in. Now, there was a time where he was a Rudy. But when he joined this, he had that kind of credential already that he could leverage. Now, his partner, on the other hand, he was taking a shower, getting ready to go tell a whole bunch of people how they can, change their life and get rich and have a lot of fun with our company and live rich. But they came and shut his water off, got shampoo in his hair. In that partnership, who are number one money earners, you see where they balance each other. They really do. And I'm so grateful. I'm so proud of them. Great job, guys. But I see the mind and I see the heart. Just like my partner Mike and I see the mind, I see the heart. And so many of us, you got to have people like that. My buddy Matt Morris, talk about a Rudy story. Living out of his car, showering under the gutters. He knows what I'm talking. He knows what Rudy's talking about with this internal drive, this internal fortitude, having a big goal, a big dream, and staying the course. And I was with him when he sought help. He sought mentorship. And the worst thing you can do if you love somebody is do for them what they could have done for themselves, says Coach Wooden. And my friends that I personally sponsored, that I helped get where they're at, when I think of these guys, Matt, Jefferson, John Herhold, Joe, these are friends that I do enough, but not too much. They got to be their own Rudy. But I know their dream, and I rally around them for their dream. You got to have a big dream, but you got to let people know you have a big dream. And you know what? If you're a good person, if you're a likable person, if you got the right, if you pay attention to our core values, if you live those core values, you know what? People are going to want to help you. But if you go out there and it's all about I, me, and it's about get, somehow people just don't want to help you. Rudy, the reason he got on that field is because he had a dream for so long. There were so many ways other people rallied around him. What compelled him to leave his family and go and pursue his dream to go to the school of Notre Dame and play for the football team, his best friend died. You watch the movie, here's a guy, the one guy that believed in him, and he died in the coal mine. My sister, my little baby sister, you know, she died when I was in high school. And I have a good perspective on death. I meet too many people that are afraid of death. It's weird because you're gonna die. You're not getting out alive. And you're not taking it with you. And I've told people for years, I don't have a money goal. I have a creation goal. And the creation goal I have is where we're changing lives and we're creating memories. That's what we can do with this. That's what we can do with this. Because the truth is, there's a Rudy in all of us. You like that? It clicks with you, doesn't it? You know inside of you, it's there. And we get off course. You have a dream and you get off course. And you stop and you slow down. Out of this weekend, are you going to leave here with a big dream? Rudy finished third from the bottom in his high school class. He did not have anywhere near the grades to go to Notre Dame, one of the best schools in the country. He knew he had to get into school if he ever wanted to play for the team. He can't get into school until he goes to the community college. There was a job to be done at that time. Get through the community college so he could get to the Notre Dame. Once he gets into Notre Dame, there's a job to be done. Then he has to work to get on the team. When he makes the team, it's not like the team. It's like the tackling dummy team. You see how they beat up on him? For 2 years. Beating after beating after beating. You see how many times he got knocked down? He got back up, right? That's like rejection. That's like when I recruit you. You're going to get knocked down. Is it not true that too many of us, we don't even get rejection because it's the fear of rejection? We're not even getting on the field and taking the hit, much less getting up. You got to get off the bench, get on the field, get in the game. Take the hit. That guy took hit after hit after hit, and he did it for years on practice. He gets in the game because as soon as he got there to Indiana, he started telling people his dream, his goals. And people watched him pursue his goals and his dreams day in, day out, without stop, without fail. And they're like, this guy's still at it. This guy's still going for it. He's been at it for so long. How can I not want to help the guy? How can I not believe in the guy? Before that football game, the school ran his story in the paper. And then it was the crowd that started to chant. But before that even, his players, the guys that were beating on him and beating on him and beating on him, they go into the coach and they put their jerseys on. They're willing to give up their scholarship saying he's earned it. He deserves it. We want him to dress. And the coach says, "You're the captain. Act like it." He said, "I believe I am." Who do you have rallying around you that way, supporting you that way, believing in you that way? And if you're not putting your goals and your dreams out there, how are you going to have any cheerleaders? I remember these lessons with Mike and I coming up. Mike and I always had this standard of evaluating people. Are you a cheerleader for me or not? That was our actual language. I watched Johnny Wimbrey do it. On stage, are you a friend or are you a foe? Are you a friend or are you a foe? Are you a friend or are you a foe? See, we make these distinctions. This book I feel blessed, y'all. I've had a blessed life. And I think part of it's because when I was young, before I got started in life, before I was out of the nest, my dad had that book by his toilet. And I had to go to the bathroom. There's nothing else to read. And it was actually pretty good. That book, this movie, this character will make a difference in your life. And it can be there for you. And I've reread this book so many times. I've rewatched this movie so many times. It's so in here, and it so gives me strength. I come here with you all, and it's so empowering. But when you're not here, who am I with? God. And with God with me, who can be against me? With God with us, who can be against us? When they were carrying Rudy off, I kept seeing him like this. And I don't know, is he saying I'm number one? I believe he's saying, thank you. I notice all the little miracles that come all the time. And I say thank you. And every day I say I'm sorry to God. And thank you, God. And I came to find out, you know what? Rudy did the same thing. Rudy, he learned this. That's what I'm saying. I knew that I've learned that he had faith. And he would go to the church all the time. Every time he had an impure thought or a negative thought or what he calls goofy thoughts, he'd go to the church and talk to the priest. And the priest's like, Rudy, you're okay. You don't got to come back here every 10 minutes. But that was a big part of it. He was being held accountable. His mom wasn't there. His dad wasn't there. He'd go to church. This is internal fortitude. This is internal strength. This is the only thing I know that's going to help you sustain. You should leave here with a clear goal and a clear vision, and you stay the course. My friends who know me know I've been pursuing this a long time. They know I've stayed the course. It's just never been a question. There's people here today that knew me almost 20 years ago when I hadn't done anything, right? A handful of you. I hadn't seen them in that long, and they're here this weekend. And they go, wow, look at what you went off and did. Not what we went off and did. But it was this idea. And you got to have a dream and idea so big that other people can play in it. And it's so big, they can play big in it. They can play all the way in it. That's what we're building. You got to have your cheerleaders. I asked. Actually, they're more like teammates, you know. Asked them to play team with me. But this is core. You got to pay attention about who is within your inner circle. Let's go to the next thing. I come to these events, and we hear these stories up here. My partner Mike did a great job pulling some stories this weekend. There's so many testimonials that came up that were so good. There are so many more stories you don't hear. I hear them here and there, and as we're talking, and it blows me away. It's amazing how many Rudy stories we have in here. Will you please send them in? You know your story. You know what you're going through. There's so many people of what it took to get here. They sacrificed everything to be here. And I remember when Jefferson did that too. I mean, his tires were bald, the wires were sticking out. And he asked me, what should I do? Should I go to the training or should I get new tires? So, which one's going to move you closer to your goals? Which one's going to move you closer to your dream? What's the difference between a goal and a dream? That's kind of like asking what's the difference between a vacation and a dream trip. Because there is a difference. You have goals that you can break down into bite-sized chunks that you can get there that lead you toward your dream. But this guy, Rudy, was 5'6", 160, 70 pounds. He was, mathematically, on paper, there was nothing that said he should even be a tackling dummy. Much less ever suit up and get on the field. Much less, in the last 5 seconds of the game, actually sack the quarterback. It riled everybody up so much they carried the guy off the field. First time, last time. It's just, it's mind-boggling. But you have to know that you have that in you. Like I said, there's some people you expect to succeed. There's others. There's so many of us that start with nothing. Not even a belief in ourselves. But you have a company now that you can believe in. But you have to believe in yourself. You really have to believe that Rudy's in there. You have to leave here with that or you won't do anything. And you got to leave here and be willing to take your hits. But you got to know that we're here for you and that we're your friend. Friends got me through. I believe Rudy had friends that got him through. Monica, would you play the last deal here? Y'all are more than reps. Y'all are my friends. Y'all are my family. Actually, Monica, go to the next one. That one there, that video, Rudy's in the locker room, and he's looking at all the lockers. He's giving respect to all the players that came before him. He knows, just like you all know your leaders. You know the IMDs. You know the RMDs and above. And you're going, man, what about this? What about that one? What about that one? Go ahead, play it. You see the reverence? That guy knew the players. He knew the coach. He knew the coach's speech. That's what you got this weekend. Y'all know who you're yeah? These guys are the players you want to be. Marcus said is the coach you want to have. You know, the difference between this is this was a game. And when it was over, Rudy didn't go on to make a lot of money. WorldVentures, this ain't a game. This is your life. God bless you. God bless you. You're champions. You're champions. Play like champions today and every day. Go out there and take your hits. Make it happen. Make it happen. Make it happen. Whatever it takes. God bless you.